Hey everyone, we're back. It's GameSlushy podcast number 9, and it's the
It's 8, you noob. 8.
No, 8. It is. Okay.
Welcome to the show, guys. It's good to hear.
So this
Good
is
to be back.
podcast number 8, not 9.
Yes, it's 8. Yeah.
And we're back after a long break of Christmas and New Year's. So I think you've had time to clear your New Year's hangover by now. Since
yeah, I'm good to go.
it's the
Just about.
middle of January,
Still
soon be
suffering a
enough.
little bit. It's still suffering a little bit of the after effects, but
Nobody parties as hard as you do, huh?
It's true.
So
I will not.
New Year, new games, and yeah. Well, 2011 was really good for gaming. Everyone would agree on that. A lot of great titles, especially
Absolutely.
in the last quarter of 2011. But from what I'm seeing, 2012 is going to be even more better.
Epic.
Yeah, even
Epic
more better.
Yeah. I have been looking at quite a few of the games releasing for Q1, which is looking pretty awesome.
Yeah, and Q1 is going to be really good. There's also stuff that hasn't been announced and we do not know of yet. But so far, 2012 is looking like a great year for gaming.
For gaming, yeah, I agree.
I think it's just going to get worse and worse every year. They just bombard us with so much good shit all the time. It's to
the point
yeah.
where something wonderful might happen. I don't know. I don't care. Once they keep bombarding us with these class games, I'm happy.
So let's see. What games are you looking forward the most for 2012?
Oh, Mass Effect 3.
Mass Effect 3, I have to agree. It's one of Mass Effect 3 and Bioshock.
It is one of my most anticipated. Bioshock, yes, definitely. What's it, Infinite? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Bioshock Infinite. And every time I look at it, I want to play more of it. I want to play it more every time I look at it. It's great.
Back on games, yeah, Diablo 3. Pretty much just keeping an eye out on that because we still don't have news. Last I heard, I was reading up on it today, that they have postponed it a little bit longer. Again.
Yeah, but that's
saying they found a little bit of a problem or they wanted to change some stuff.
It's annoying, but in the end, it's better than releasing the game and being completely broken.
But this is the thing. Apparently the game isn't broken. They're decided to make changes based on, maybe this was a little bit too, obviously hard, or maybe we want to make it a little bit easier on this point. It's the minor things at this point that they're
tweaking
really
it. They're tweaking.
Yeah, but
that's Blizzard. The Blizzard, they have a track record of. They don't care about the release dates. They care about releasing something good and as good as it can be.
Yeah, that's true.
And I wish more companies were like that. As far as I know, it's like Valve and Blizzard that only do that. And the other ones, they release games even if they're like completely broken.
Yeah, but they can afford to do that. Remember that.
Yeah.
There's a big difference. I mean, Blizzard has made billions from WoW. They can sit in their ass for the next 5 years if they want.
But they've been doing that even before WoW. To be honest.
True. But I think the difference is the amount of income and how much pressure they are under publishers or whatever else to get the games out.
Yeah.
I mean, take BioWare's recent one, Star Wars. Now I've been playing that a few weeks.
Yeah.
And it is certainly not polished.
It is
really not. Like there's so many bugs in that game.
But it's an MMO. It's bound to have bugs. It's kind of like a Bethesda game. It's
true. No, the biggest problem is the beta didn't have a lot of the stuff it has now, because the beta was pretty much nearly ready to go, but they had to take stuff back out of beta because it wasn't 100%, and so it's left the game in a kind of missing a lot of stuff state. I mean, I play a Marauder at the moment, which is kind of a dual wielding warrior, and my UI keeps bugging on me whenever I try to use stuff.
Use add-ons.
Usability.
Can't you use add-ons like in World of Warcraft?
No, there's no add-ons. They're all blocked at the moment. Huh. Yeah, it's silly. I don't know what the plan is, but they released a very nice patch there only 2 or 3 days ago, and it's kind of fixed quite a lot of the problems, but there's still quite new ones on top of that have jumped in. But I guess that's the progress thing. But the difference is they left out a lot of stuff that they had because of pressure, and that's all I'm kicking off on.
And you have to remember, they're not an MMO studio. This is their
No,
first
not.
venture into that field, and so we should cut them some slack. I haven't played it myself, but I have been hearing only good things about it. I have
Oh,
friends of mine that don't like MMOs, that hate MMOs. They
but love this game, yeah.
hate World of Warcraft, and they don't even care about Star Wars that much.
That's
But they
because
love
you
these
can't
games.
see Star Wars as an MMO. You can't, not until end game. It's pretty much just a mission-based game. It's like you have the epic story that BioWare just tends to deliver all the time. I really enjoyed that aspect. Now I leveled up.
Can you do the sex in the MMO?
No.
So it's not really a BioWare game 100%.
They killed the sex. I don't know why they did. I was in the middle of making a video about that. They killed the sex. Pretty much the sex scene in the game was you talk to your companion and she's like, oh yeah, I want you. I want you now. Okay, baby, let's do it. And then 3 seconds later you get this black screen and then it returns back. Oh,
really?
That was amazing. What? What was amazing?
So it's kind of, they took the Fable approach to it.
Yeah, it's not BioWare. That's like ES or B or something kicking in there. Huh?
How about gay relationship?
I believe you can do that. I think you have the options to have same-sex relationships. I haven't tried it yet.
Okay.
But I've heard that you can.
So if I had a character, if I were to join Star Wars: The Old Republic, if I created a character, would I be able to talk to you and say to you, would it show up in the dialogue options? Is there a lightsaber in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
No. There's no interaction like that between characters. No, that's all scripted. Everything there is scripted. Pretty much, the only interaction you have when you're with your companion or with your mate when you're playing is you can access the same quest and you roll the dice for who wins the conversation. Option. So pretty much you have 3 options, the same as in Mass Effect, and you select your option that you want to say to the NPC. So turn around and you say, no, I don't like your idea on this quest, let's go with something else, type of attitude. Someone else can go, yeah, I love this idea. Or, your third option could be kill the bastard, you know.
So you can give a suggestion and then the rest of the team either agrees or disagrees.
No, pretty much you select your option. So say I go for don't like this guy, I want to kill him option.
Yeah.
And then, my friend or my girlfriend turns around and goes, I like this guy, and selects that option. What happens then is a dice is kind of rolled in the bottom of the screen, and you're faced on a number. Whoever has the highest number wins that conversation dialogue.
Okay.
So yeah. But you don't lose dark side or light side points based on it. You just lose the story based on the decision someone else makes for you. It's not bad. It's not a bad feature at all. I mean, if you're in communication with the people that you're questing with in general, you can turn around and say, I really want to see this. And, they'll just go, no problem. And then not bother answering, to which you win anyway.
Okay. So how about gameplay? Is it apart from the dialogue and storytelling, which is like light years away of World of Warcraft, gameplay-wise, how does it feel?
Well, like I said, I'm having a lot of trouble with my Marauder at the moment. Yeah. It's smooth. It's very polished. The animations are awesome. But, I'd be looking at this from a competitive PvP standpoint.
Which you always do.
And I'm not particularly happy. There's a lot of frame rate and frame lag, which is nothing to do with your latency. It's to do with how the game processes the amount of actions you're actually doing. Versus the position of the opposing player. So it's kind of like I could hit an ability that would actually activate and use the ability, but the guy would get no damage. Say it's a channeled ability, for example. Yeah. The guy would take no damage and the ability would reset, but you'd be still stuck there channeling for that 5-6 seconds before you can do anything again. And it gets very frustrating when you're doing it quite a lot.
Maybe it's just the servers are, too...
It's not. I don't think this is a server issue. This is a coding issue. If it was a server issue, I'd be all like, okay, but I'd expect my latency to be showing up an issue.
If it's a coding issue, it can still be patched. And if it's a server issue, it can be fixed as well.
Fixed. All of it can be fixed. It just requires a little bit of polishing, I think. Other than that, the game is really fluid, really good and responsive. I mean, PvE-wise, It's epic. I haven't really got any bad things to say. A couple of quest bugs, obviously there's thousands of quests. There's bound to be some ones that are buggy. Auction housing and stuff like that. It's not the most user friendly, but it's still only beginning. It's a working auction house at least.
Yeah.
Mails are a bit buggy. Things that you take for granted.
A friend told me, because I said I don't want to get into another MMO right now. I've had 5 years of World of Warcraft, and I'm kind of burned out on it. I think I've mentioned that on this podcast already. But a friend of mine told me, get the game, play the campaign. You're gonna love it anyway, because it's as good as other BioWare games. And when the game time expires, you just don't renew it. He says I can still get a lot from the game even if I.
Oh, you can. For the 30 days that you have it, you'll get literally 30 days worth. I mean, I'm on probably 8 or 9 days playtime, which is like nearly 200 hours now on one character, and another 3 or 4 days on another character. Mm-hmm. So out of that, I've gotten more money's worth out of this game than Skyrim. In regards to time versus play cost. So yeah, definitely, it's well worth it just to even try it.
Yeah, but
pick it up, definitely.
Yeah, I'm going to do it sooner or later. I have so much stuff to play on my backlog.
I still have all my indie games I want to play, because remember when I got the indie bundle there a few weeks ago, and I wanted.
And I've been eyeing Dust Force on Steam. I mean, every time I start Steam, I see Dust Force there, and it's only €8, but at the same time, I have so much game to play here.
I know the feeling. The Steam sales are killing me because of my time, and I've been like, I see the game and it drops down to $5, and I'm like, fuck, I've got to get this. So I spend the $5 immediately, and it sits there, and I'm like, awesome, now I have this, so I'll play it again in a couple of days. I have 3 or 4 games like that that have been sitting there for 2 months.
Yeah, for me, it's not only just Steam. For me, it's like console games here in Sweden. If you wait 2-3 months, they lower the price so much.
Yeah,
it's like, release date, €69, the standard price. You wait 3 months, it's like €19, and then you think, oh, I'm gonna buy this, because otherwise I miss the shot, and then I won't be able to find the game elsewhere.
That's exactly my problem as well.
And then I end up buying. I see these titles, and I see, oh, I need to order this. So I order like 2 or 3 games at €19-20 each, and then they sit there because I just have too much shit to play on Steam and too much shit to play on.
I remember when you told me to buy Painkiller.
Yeah.
I still have it there, and it's not installed.
Yeah, but Painkiller is so good.
I know, the Black Edition. I was sitting there and I just haven't been able to play it. I mean, between Skyrim and Star Wars, I actually even picked up Dead Space 2, because I played Dead Space 1, and I picked up Dead Space 2 because it was on sale for like €7. Yeah. And I installed it, but I haven't even pressed the play button on it yet.
Yeah, I have those 2 for PlayStation over there on the shelf. They're installed. They're installed on the PlayStation, but they haven't been played yet. Because I still need to finish Deus Ex, which
Oh right, yeah.
I still haven't finished it. Dragon Age 2, I bought it as well for €20. I still haven't finished it. So much shit. And then because of podcasts on the internet, I want to listen to podcasts. I listen to certain podcasts regularly, and they just give me
That's another hour of your time.
Yeah, and that's another hour. And then what do? I'm playing fucking Torchlight while listening to podcasts, while my fucking backlog keeps like piling up like the fucking mountain of doom.
Well, at least you can definitely say it's good that we have selection, and for really, really good price as well.
At least I know if I go broke, like 100% completely broken, cannot buy any games for the next year.
I have 10 sitting up as backup.
Yeah, exactly. And I still have only like 100 hours on Skyrim, which I consider to be very little.
Yeah, it's very true. Very, very true.
But anyway, games of 2012. Mass Effect, what else are you looking for toward?
There was a few of them. Now, at the moment, I was having a quick look at Resident Evil, and it's coming out in a couple of months, or I think it's in February. Still part of Q1.
That's which one? That's
it's called Operation Raccoon City, right?
Yeah, and the other one was just announced. Resident.
Oh, 6, yeah, Resident Evil 6, yeah, that was announced. That sets you out in November, so. But on a closer end, Raccoon City. Now, the reason it caught my attention a little bit more is not only that it's on the PC, but it was by the guys that actually made the SOCOM series. Now, that is probably one of the oldest series I ever played on the PlayStation 1 and 2. So I used to have friends over playing this game, and I really got a lot of fun out of the SOCOM series.
I never played a SOCOM game, actually. I know they're very tactical, and that's maybe what put...
Yeah, that was it. They were quite unique at the time, and I really, really enjoyed the aspect of them. Now, I'm sure back then, if you were to review it in regards to today's gaming challenging, it would be completely shit. But when I got it at the time when I was younger, and it was great to have a few friends over and play that game. So this is now Resident Evil Operations being developed by these guys under Capcom and so forth. And I'm kind of like, yeah, this has grabbed my attention just on that basis alone. It looks actually good.
I was wondering why they were going to release two big multi-platform Resident Evil games. Yeah. Because there's Resident Evil 6 and Resident Evil Raccoon Operation something. Raccoon City Operation, or Operation Raccoon City. And I started thinking about it, and I didn't see any elements of co-op play on the Resident Evil 6 trailer. Or at least I didn't notice any. So I think this is like an attempt to get both demographics. Because Resident Evil 5... it was kind of like a single-player campaign, but with co-op tacked on. And a lot of people liked that, and a lot of people didn't. A lot of people preferred Resident Evil where you're alone, and you're relying basically on yourself, and you don't need basically to have a bot around you or another person. People like to play Resident Evil by themselves. They don't want... some people, most of people, I think... criticized a lot of the fuck out of Resident Evil 5 because of that. Because they didn't want co-op in their Resident Evil. It wasn't welcome there.
Yeah, this is my game. I want to play it now. I want to play it.
The co-op in Resident Evil 5 was unwelcome there. Like cum in your sandwich. Yeah?
Lovely, yes. That's very unwelcoming.
Yeah. But they see this market of people that want to play Resident Evil with co-op and multiplayer. So then they have Raccoon City Operations, or Operation Raccoon City, or what the fuck is it called?
I don't know if it's multiplayer though yet.
It is multiplayer. It's like multiplayer.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's like a co-op multiplayer focused game. And it's very more action oriented. You can actually walk and shoot at the same time, which you cannot do in Resident Evil 6.
In the originals,
And in the original series. And,
all of them, actually.
And there's people actually criticizing Resident Evil 6 because they think, I don't know, I didn't notice in the trailer, but they're criticizing it if it has the ability to... if it doesn't have the ability to run, to walk and shoot, or run and shoot. And I think that's the inability to run or walk and shoot at the same time actually adds to the tension of a survival horror, because shooting or walking away is actually a big decision to do in some moments, because it's actually a life or death decision. Stay and shoot or run the fuck away. Yeah.
True. In most cases,
yes. So it adds a lot of fucking tension to Resident Evil. And people that criticize, but this is 2012 and you should be able to run and shoot at the same time. And who the fuck cares? If it's a it's a gameplay mechanic that actually adds to tension and adds to the horror and the feeling of hopelessness that you get, then it's a welcome thing. That's why Amnesia was so popular, because you're fucking helpless in Amnesia. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
You're always running away. You have no fucking power, which makes you more scared, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you were...
it plays on your mind.
If you were able to run and shoot at the same time in a Resident Evil game, that would take away some of the tension of it. And I think it's something. Some things are, they should evolve, and I've seen new gameplay elements in the Resident Evil 6 trailer, and it's the genre is welcome to evolve, but stuff that works, you don't need to take it away arbitrarily just because it's 2012.
Yeah, like I said, everything has to evolve as well, as you said yourself. So it could be a case of whether or not they are trying to evolve it, but you do hit a valid point, the actual suspension of turning around and finding someone behind you before you can shoot leads a kind of a oh shit scenario.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can see where that can come in. Yeah, but I look forward to it, definitely. I'm tempted to give it a try. At least I'll try the demo if it's available.
Yeah.
Of the Operations, which is recent now. It's only due. They say it's Q1. I don't know. I think it's February.
Probably
That's
gonna
due
be. I don't know. We haven't seen too much of it yet. I don't think it's ready for release.
And the last game at the moment that has caught my eye, and you actually mentioned it in the review or the GameSlushy Awards, was the Kingdom of Amalur.
Kingdoms of Amalur. It caught my eye when I read Todd McFarlane, and Todd McFarlane is a penciler, a comic book penciler, or was a comic book penciler. He's responsible for some very good Spider-Man comics in the 90s, and responsible for creating the character Spawn.
Oh right, yeah, okay.
And I love his, whenever he drew Venom, it was the most hardcore badass Venom I ever saw. When it was drawn by Todd McFarlane, and I remembered, Joe Madureira, Joe Mad, which is responsible for the art direction in Darksiders. You can see his work all over Darksiders. You can see his touch, and he adds to it. It adds to the world, and it adds to the game. It makes it more unique. And when I thought, okay, Todd McFarlane was as good as Joe Madureira, but it has a completely different art style. I really want to see what a game with Todd McFarlane involved in it is going to look like, because Darksiders looked fucking great. And Darksiders 2, I'm really looking forward to it. So, Kingdoms of Amalur, it has like lead designers from fucking Oblivion and Morrowind and stuff, and a lot of big names involved in this game, in this project. And so it caught my attention, Todd McFarlane and all those other big names. So I really wanted to see it. And now the demo is out. And people are playing it, and I've been discussing it with some people. Some people, friends of mine, saying it's like Oblivion. It has touches of Oblivion, but it's like Oblivion with better combat and more color. A completely different art direction. I hope it becomes a really good franchise, because I like colorful games. I like Darksiders has so much color in it. It's something that we're missing out of, and that's why I cannot get into the Fallout universe so much, because it's so brown.
Right. Yeah. And then the missing colors.
And then the VAT system is so fucking shit. And you cannot play Fallout without the VAT system, because then you're just dead meat. So it's like dull and lifeless compared to other Bethesda games,
Yeah, true. It's different, but it aims at people who generally.
Skyrim is not the most colorful game we have.
I disagree on that. It's definitely one of the more colorful ones.
But it's not as colorful as it could be, and it tones it down a little bit, but it's still much more colorful than Fallout. Fallout is just shit.
Yeah, but come on, Fallout is a post-apocalyptic game. It's meant to be like
but
that.
You can make a post-apocalyptic setting without making it all brown. I mean, take a look at Borderlands. Even though it's not technically post-apocalyptic, Borderlands has a different art style and more color to it, even though the setting is kind of like similar.
Yeah, but it's still all brown when you look at it. Even Borderlands.
No, it's not.
It is.
Especially
Everywhere
the
is brown.
DLC. I mean,
it's all sand.
No.
Oh, right. Okay, maybe DLC when you're going up into the snowy
areas. No, but I think it has much more color. Even when you're... I mean, next time we play it, you're going to see. You're going to see. I'm going to see that's fucking green over there.
Okay. You point out that little cactus in the middle of the desert. You fucking see? It's right here.
No, but even the enemies in Fallout are brown, and in fucking Borderlands you have like purple locusts and stuff.
Yeah.
And purple snakes.
Okay. Yes. All right. Yeah. When you pick it up that way, but
pants.
You have the same in Fallout when you go into the techie structures of old, going down into the what are they called? I can't remember now. The vaults.
Yeah.
And when you go into the vault, you have all these techie, cool green areas as well. I mean, I can pick out areas all right, but in general, it's still a wastelands type game. It's designed that way. I think when you say Skyrim is not even remotely a comparison because it's a highly granted it's not like Trine, but it's still a highly colorful game.
Yeah, I agree. It's colorful. It's not like Trine colorful, but you know what? Kingdoms of Amalur is kind of like Trine in certain aspects in the
Oh,
colors.
maybe,
In the
maybe.
colors, I mean, the first time you step outside, it's like so colorful. You see all the. It kind of reminds me of Fable, and some people actually say it's kind of like an evolution of Fable. It's I've heard
Okay, well,
somewhere that I don't know where I heard this, if it was on a podcast or something. Someone said um, Kingdoms of Amalur is what Fable would have been if Peter Molyneux actually kept his promises.
oh, right, right. But the thing is now I've only played the first Fable, so I don't know how well they evolved in the second and third because they wouldn't allow them on the
Yeah, I only played the
PC.
first Fable as well. I didn't play the other ones.
They made a stupid decision to turn around and go, oh, and we're making the second one exclusive, but the third one you can access on the PC. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's really gonna work,
yeah. A friend
guys.
of mine
Sorry.
is like, I want to play Fable, but it's like we only have 1 and 2 on Steam, and, 1 and 3, and no
One and
two.
three.
I mean, people
Yeah, it's a bit
complain
stupid when you have to
about
sit
Mass
like.
Effect 3 not coming to Steam, but this is even more stupid.
At least it's accessible on the PC. No.
Yeah. Uh, oh well.
Oh,
I'm really looking forward to Far Cry 3 actually.
Far Cry 3. I did not hear anything about Far Cry
Oh,
3 now. I haven't looked this one up.
yeah, you need to go check it out. The trailer is amazing. Well, they showed some. I think it was in what was it called? Some event last year. I was watching it on Game Trailers. It was announced at E3 last year. They showed this like 10-minute gameplay demo, and it was
Yeah.
amazing. It was kind of like it's like Skyrim with guns. You can see like everywhere, but they put they took it back to like the original setting of Far Cry because the first Far Cry was took place in a tropical, setting.
Yeah, tropical setting
And then
in
the
general.
second one, they took you to the savannah in Africa. And then on this one, they bring you back to the tropical setting because that's what Far Cry fans want. The savannah, the Far Cry 2. I actually think Far Cry 2 is a great game. Actually, I seem to be on the minority on that one.
Yeah, no, I played the first one now. The thing is, when you look at these things, Far Cry, as far as everyone had seen, was kind of a benchmark at the time. It was a PC tester.
Yeah.
It had the most advanced graphics that you could get your hands on, and it pushed your PC at the time to its limits. Now, I think that aspect or that type of mindset actually would affect the fact that, it wasn't actually that bad of a game, but people see it that way, that it's going to become, it's just a benchmark. The gameplay is crap.
No, I don't think the people think like that. Actually, I disagree with you on that because when Crisis came out, it was that same benchmark, and people didn't think about it as just a benchmark game. They think.
Yeah, but I knew Crisis was. Oh, well, yeah, okay, I can see the point, but I think that maybe.
No, but Far Cry 2 has some problems, and people make those problems out to be much worse than they actually are. Um, I think even though it has some problems, I think the overall experience is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to Far Cry 3 because what we saw on the E3 gameplay demo, the way you can interact with you can go from behind the guy's back, steal his fucking knife, and stab him in the chest all in one move.
Yeah.
And
that sounds pretty.
that's
Yeah.
really good,
Yeah.
and you can like see everywhere. As basically like Far Cry 1, you can look, and Far Cry 2 as well. You just see the world stretching out, before you, and it looks really great. They seem to have more attention with the writing this time. The characters, they only showed like a little this like crazy guy talking to you about what's the definition of insanity, but I really want to see more of that guy because he's so fucking cuckoo. And I think, this time around, Far Cry 3, first going back to the tropical setting, and second, paying more attention to the writing and making the game more interesting, and
Yeah, I
adding
suppose.
adding more gameplay elements and stuff. I think it's going to be like one of those hits that's nobody is going to be like. People are going to think. I think people are expecting it to be an 8 out of 10 game, and it's going to be like a 10 out of 10 game. I think it's
We'll
going.
have to wait and see.
I think it's going to blow everyone away with the amount of
Story and gameplay.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
we'll
amount of
see.
polish. I hope it's good because I like the Far Cry 2. I really like. I prefer
Genre.
Far Cry 2 to Far Cry 1, to be honest. Anywho, Darksiders 2, which I'm also waiting for, is coming out Q4. So
It's still a long way away
yeah.
yet.
So
Should...
I should be grateful for that because I already have Bioshock Infinite and Mass
Yeah,
Effect
I think
3,
there's enough games that keep us
Kingdoms of
happy for the
Amalur.
next couple of months.
So it's kind of like thank God for them pushing Darksiders 2 further along in the year. But I'm really looking forward to playing as Death because they released another featurette on Game Trailers or something, and they showed like the new moves and the combat mechanics and stuff, and it looks so fucking good. I love it. And all that cover, that cover is just fucks your eyes in. It's like sex. It's like sex for your eyes. But yeah.
Excellent. But like I said, it's a long way away. Yeah, so
You
I
need
don't
to
think there's
play
very much.
fucking Darksiders. You need to play it.
Yeah, I know I do. It's a lot of games I need to play.
Yeah.
A lot.
But you really need to play
I just don't have the time for it.
I think you're gonna love it, especially because you were the Warcraft fan for lots of years, and the main character is played by the same guy that plays Illidan.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I told you
Oh,
that before.
interesting. The voiceover. Yeah, you told me that before. Yeah.
And it has Mark Hamill in it and stuff. It's just great game. Great. The combat could be better. I admit the combat in Darksiders could be better, but it was the first game in the franchise, so and it doesn't really deter from the rest of the game because it acts more like a Zelda game, and combat in Zelda is not that great either. It's basically hacking.
Yeah, well,
and I think
Zelda is about story, I think, as well, isn't it?
I think the combat in the second one is going to be like light years away from the ahead of the first game. It looks so good. Yeah.
Well, something to look forward to again. There's a lot of things like that.
Yeah. What else is coming out this year?
But there's lots, but there's quite a few FPSs coming out in this next couple of months as well.
Yeah, but that's like the FPS is
Ghost
Recon.
Yeah. Final Fantasy 13 Part 2.
I'm not going to pick it up because I cannot be arsed to finish the first game. The 13th.
You know what did catch my eye? And I was just thinking about it there earlier. It was Street Fighter 4X Tekken.
Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
Yeah.
That's how they spell it. Cross Tekken.
It's Cross Tekken, yeah.
I want to get it. I want to get it really bad.
I looked at that game and I was watching some of the trailers and I was like, that is a good looking fighter game. I haven't seen
it. And the whole the new finding mechanics, it bounces off the edge of the
characters, yeah. Oh yeah, that as well. They really look like
a lot of possibilities and cross character combos and stuff like that. It's like Street Fighter 4 on drugs. And graphically, even though it looks kind of like the same, it has a new shader that makes everything even look even more cartoony and more cool. And I really want to get it, but the thing is, Capcom has taught me that if I get the game now, I'm going to feel like a douchebag in 3 months after I buy it. Because it happened the same thing with...
Yeah, it happens a lot with them. You get one and then the next one comes out and you're like...
Jesus Christ, they announced Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 3 months after I fucking bought it on day one. That's not fucking fair. It's like... And the game, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was released 9 months after I bought it on day one. Not even a full fucking year. And then...
Yeah, that's how they work these games, though. I don't know what
I'm going to do. I really want to get that game, but fuck you, Capcom. I'm going to wait for it. I'm going to wait 3 months. I'm going to go on the forums and on websites, and then I'm gonna laugh at other people that bought it on day one. Like people laughed at me when I bought it. When I bought.
Oh. Oh well, don't worry. Your next one will be out, and then in 3 months they'll have another one after that. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I think I might try this one. It does look good.
Yeah.
It's out in March, around the 6th-ish.
I'm actually serious. You should wait a few months because then you're going to get the Ultimate Edition or Super Edition with 10 extra characters for half the price.
It seems like March in general is the good month. I mean, that's when Mass Effect 3 is coming out. That's when you have Street Fighter coming out.
Yeah, that's another reason. I'm not going to be able to play Street Fighter with Mass Effect 3 and BioShock coming out. So I might as well just wait and see where it comes from there. What comes from that. So I'm just going to, play fucking BioShock and Mass Effect and wait for the thing to happen, for them to come and inevitably announce that the other game is coming, the Super or Ultimate or Crusted Edition. Anywho, they also announced recently that Mortal Kombat Complete Collection with 2Ks there. Is coming out as well. So people who bought Mortal Kombat also feel stupid now because now they get other people that waited. They're getting Mortal Kombat with all the DLC characters included, including Freddy Krueger for fucking less.
Oh.
Yeah. Complete collection. And that's another thing with these complete collections. I saw on Steam, and I think, you are finding it strange that I wasn't ranting today on our podcast, huh? But I saw on Steam LA Noire Complete Edition.
Yeah.
So what was it that you were selling before? The incomplete edition?
It must have been. And maybe I think they classify these editions now as DLC, don't they?
No, they don't. They like sell the game again, but with extra content. So
that's what I mean. So they turn around, and the original one was not the complete edition because you had to get the DLC.
Yeah, that's just stupid. I mean,
yeah, it is
fucking retarded. I mean, the LA Noire is kind of like kind of like a recent game. It shouldn't get the complete edition just yet. Game of the Year editions and Ultimate editions, they should come out like 2-3 years after the game.
After the release of the game, when it's for less price to re-promote it and stuff like that. I agree completely.
It should be like Bethesda does it. Bethesda ultimately puts out the Game of the Year edition for their games, but that's like 2-3 years after
the release.
After they, we don't have any more DLC to add. The game is complete. Now we wait a few months and then we release it again and make some extra cash.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? But it's an easy way to do it as well. They do it for a bit cheaper. People can try the game that they haven't, and people will all have their updated machines in a couple of years that they couldn't play it before, so they think of it again, and it's a really good way to do it.
Yeah. But what Capcom is doing is fucking criminal. I mean, I didn't have the Marvel vs. Capcom 3 for 3 months before I knew of another edition. And then
true. I agree with that, but at the same time, they mostly release it on consoles.
Yeah,
I think that would be the bigger aspect.
Yeah, but
they know damn well.
Then there's people arguing. Yeah, but Capcom has been doing this for ages, like for 20 years now. That doesn't make it right. If I was raping a chick like repeatedly on my basement for 20 years. And then someone came along, yeah, you've been doing it for 20 years, so who cares?
It's perfectly fine. Yeah. What the fuck? Okay, right. Delving into dangerous territory.
Yeah. I think
Come here, have you heard? Go on. Have you heard of this game called Amy, by the way?
I've heard that it got really bad reviews and, it's really shit. Everyone's saying shit.
Yeah, it was released like this week.
It's a survival horror that, it has a lot of design flaws and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I think these new guys, they're called Vector Cell, the developers. I'd never even heard of them before.
I haven't played it. I haven't downloaded because I'm friends with a big games journalist on Facebook, and he actually was putting updates on how the review was going while we reviewed it, and um, and then he ended up saying like before the actual review was out, don't buy this game. It's other shit, and um, and that was enough for because I trust him and his reviews.
Yeah.
So I didn't buy it. I was looking forward to it, and I thought because I like survival horror, I like the survival horror genre. I like my Silent Hills and my Resident Evils. But if a game is shit and a trusted reviewer is saying that it's shit, then I'm not going to buy it. And he was justified. He justified all the stuff in his review. And friends of mine said that the game was shit too. So
So
then it
yeah, then
was
you're gonna have
me.
everybody saying the shit. So
But then
what's
the
the point of picking
developer
this up?
comes out and says, yeah, this game is not for everyone. It's just too hardcore and stuff. People that are thinking it's too hard maybe want to put it on easy, like basically saying, our game is not
Oh yeah,
broken. It's you that are not
yeah.
hardcore.
That's the worst possible thing you can do.
And
That's just gonna end up being boycotted now.
so you know what? Fucking Dark Souls was hard, and people didn't think it was shit. So
Yeah,
there's your
true.
argument going
Yeah,
down the drain. Um, fucking developers. It's like just admit you did a
seriously,
shit.
no, but that's a bad move from any developer to do, to turn around and blame the user. You never do that.
Yeah.
Turn around and say, sorry, we made a fuck up, at least. You get respect for stuff like that.
Oh well.
Oh, well.
Have you seen that Sonic is having a sale on Steam?
No?
You can buy like Sonic 4, Sonic Generations, all the Sonic Mega Drive games, and Sonic CD, and all that on Steam right now for very, very cheap.
Really?
Yeah,
Let me check there.
you might
I haven't actually looked at Steam in quite a couple of days because I've been locked completely into Star Wars. So.
you might want to pick up Star Wars,
Oh yeah, weekend
whoop,
deal.
not Star Wars Generations, Sonic Generations, because it's like it takes classic Sonic games that you probably played and makes them into 3D and stuff. And you can play them as the old Sonic and as the new Sonic. So,
There's Sonic. Yeah, that's right.
half of the game is like Dreamcast type gameplay, and half of the game is like classic Genesis gameplay.
I still think they're too expensive. I can't get the life of me. Sonic the Hedgehog, the original, is selling for €2.24, down from €4. Why would you get? I mean, this comes down to emulators versus people trying to release and make money off it again. And there was a discussion about this now. I was listening to one, especially from TB, Total Biscuit, and he was talking about how the use of emulators versus these sales.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, why would you bother trying? I mean, sell it officially for maybe 20 cents. People will turn around and go, okay. But when you're charging €2 for a 20, or well, actually, in this case, it was a fiver for a 20-year-old game. It's like, hold on a damn minute here. So I can't get my head around that
But
one. It's like,
I have these games on emulator, of course, because I had them when I was a kid. I still have them back at home. They're on a closet somewhere.
yeah.
And the Ultimate Mega Drive collection came out, and I got that when it got to really low price because for €16 I got like 40 games.
Yeah, that's
40.
usually
Golden
something that you
Axe,
want to do.
1, 2, 3, Streets of
That
Rage 1, 2, 3.
they're all right because then the games actually come down to maybe being about 20 or 30 cents each, or 30 or 50 cents each, which is perfectly fine. I think that's all right. There's still content. There's still something fun. The only reason I'd buy Sonic now is just for nostalgia value, because it's a game I grew up playing. I purchased the original. I played it on the Mega Drive. I had a great time with it. So I'd like to just play it again just for the sake of nostalgia. I shouldn't have to pay a bloody fiver for the
But
thing.
I will tell you something actually, which might surprise you. Comic Zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that fucking game. And if I didn't have the Sega Ultimate Mega Drive collection, which has Comic Zone in it, I would have probably paid €5 on PSN to have Comic Zone on the PSN so I could play it on the TV. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, okay. I can. I can see that.
I paid €5 for Rayman 1,
All
which is
right.
a
Just because you wanted to play it on the TV.
yeah, which is a like I could probably get the PlayStation 1 emulator and emulate it just fine, but
just you should just look up eBay and see what Mega Drive you can get for what price.
I already did that. if
Mega
if
Drive
I had
coming
more
with
money, I
40
would.
games for 20
If
euro.
I
No
had more
problem.
money, I would probably you know spend shit on retro gaming. Actually, spend money on I
Yeah,
would probably buy a Super Nintendo and a Mega Drive and go back home and get all my video games that are in the closet and buy some extra Aladdin and stuff that I grew up playing with friends.
speaking of retro games, about 2 or 3 days ago, I was walking home from work and I actually found myself whistling
Which
to the tune of the
Sonic 2.
first flashback. No.
Then what? Oh, first flashback.
Flashback, yeah. That was
Did
out
it
on the
have a
Mega Drive.
tune? It was the
No, no, it wasn't. It was like the epic scene where you jump down the hole for the first time, and then he puts on his,
oh,
his
when the gravity belt.
and I was going, where the hell did that come from? It just started whistling it on the way home. I was like, what was? Oh my god! I can't believe that suddenly random memory of 20-year-old game decided to jump up,
I get
and then I wanted to play it, but it wasn't. I couldn't find it anywhere.
whenever I go to Portugal when I'm at the beach, it's not uncommon for me to think of Donkey Kong because a friend of mine got Donkey Kong in the summer when we were kids, and we would spend during most weekdays and weekends we were at the beach, and then at night we would play Donkey Kong. So I correlate Donkey Kong with summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Why? Oh, because you were playing it during the summer.
exactly, yeah. So I'm like fucking swimming in the ocean, in Portugal and stuff, and it's summer, and I'm swimming and I'm looking at the sky and shit like that, because I don't really swim. I just lie there floating.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Because swimming is actually too much of a hassle.
It's too much effort for you. I
Yeah,
get that. Okay,
yeah.
go on.
So I just, and then I start thinking of fucking Donkey Kong, like. The theme songs and the theme song of Donkey Kong and the aquatic ambience, the underwater level, that had that little song,
Mm.
So I think a lot of Donkey Kong when I'm swimming or when I'm in the water or when I'm just sunbathing in the beach and stuff.
There you go. That's the most random thing I've heard all day. Thank you.
Probably all week, but I'm a very
Yeah.
nostalgic person. I mean, why else would I fucking pick up Ultimate Mega Drive Collection if I wasn't?
Oh, no, yeah. I mean, I think all of us generally around this age that have grown up playing these games will turn around at certain points in time and just go, give me. I want to play this game. I want to be reminded of it. And then you get this nostalgia feeling and all the reminders of the fun you had when you were a kid. It's just, this is the power of games. And this is what I love about
I
games.
forced my girlfriend to play Streets of Rage with me. All the Streets of Rage games, and she
Yeah.
doesn't like them. I can see she doesn't like them, but she will play them anyway because I need someone else to play as Blaze.
Yeah, no, definitely. I can't put a bad thumb.
A lot of
There's a guy on YouTube. Have you seen the Angry Nintendo Nerd, by the way?
you angry video game nerd.
A video game nerd,
Yeah,
is
he's
he?
on game trailers.
He used to be called Angry Nintendo Nerd. Then he's gone video game nerd, has he?
No, I think it's part of his theme song. He says he's the angry Nintendo nerd. He's the angry Sega Atari nerd.
Oh, right,
But
yeah.
he's the
But yeah,
angry video game nerd. I like
it's usually
some of
great
his
fun
stuff.
to
Yeah.
see some of his stuff when he goes through some of the old games and how difficult they really, really were.
And the thing is that they're difficult because they're shit, not because they're actually challenging.
Yeah, but that's it. But we did them as kids, and we spent hours getting through those missions. And I remember some of the games he was playing. He was like,
Dude,
"What the fuck is going on here? You can't even jump." And I remember doing things like that, especially one of the ones where he did on Turtles, for example,
Yeah.
trying to jump into that little gap to get the pizza. I played that, and I spent hours religiously on any game that I had gotten at the time, just trying to do simple little things like that, jump into a into a little thing.
Comic Zone, for example, it fucking to this day it confuses me how people think Comic Zone is hard because the Comic Zone is not hard, and people say that it's like it's one. If you die once, the game is over, which is not true because
Yeah.
the game gives you one continue per each level, each 2 levels you pass. So that means most people can't make it out of the first 2 levels if they think if you die once the game is over, right?
Yeah.
And I go like on these forums, gaming forums and stuff, and what's your most difficult retro game and stuff, and people put Comic Zone in there as if it was like Mega Man or something, or Contra, and it just baffles my brain. The game is like 6 levels long. You can finish it in 20 minutes actually, and it's not really hard. And people are like saying it's fucking hard. I don't get it.
Don't get it either.
I mean, Sonic 2 is much fucking harder than Comic Zone, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's hard for me to say that because I can't remember the actual amount of hours I put into Sonic.
Yeah.
Especially when I died, because I probably spent 10 or 15 continues by the last boss at some point out of pure frustration. I'm not sure if it was Sonic 2 or 3, where I was up in space flying against the guy on my first time ever playthrough, and then losing my continues and then dying, and then you have to start the game from scratch because there was no real save until the third one.
That's something that the Nintendo games had ahead of their time already. They had a save feature. And
yeah, they did have the save feature. I remember that in Mario's as well.
Mario and Donkey Kong had the same system.
Yeah. It was a big thing, especially when Sonic 3 came out, they had the save feature as well, which was kind of nice. And you could go back through the levels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sonic 3 had that. And if you mix Sonic 3 and Knuckles, you got that ×2 because you can...
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. Good memories indeed.
I really love the soundtrack on Sonic 3 and Knuckles, actually. More Sonic and Knuckles than Sonic 3, but I really love the soundtracks on those games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well.
I suppose closing off, we should probably say a word or two on this Sopa thing that's been going all over the place.
I think it's evil.
That's probably the best thing you can come up with, yes. It is evil. By definition, Sopa equals evil.
Yeah.
It is internet evil.
If you go on TED Talks and you search for Sopa, you'll find a video there. There's a guy on TED Talks explaining, on TED.com, TEDtalks.com, I don't remember. There's a guy there explaining why Sopa even exists, and it's just the latest step on a lot of fucking steps that the big corporations have made to control shit.
Yeah, to try control shit. Yeah, that's pretty much the case always. But yeah, I was recent. I seen an update on, I think it was publicsomething.org, and that's the difference after, the way Wikipedia and a lot of major sites went down yesterday.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Was it yesterday or the day before?
The day before. It was on the 18th. And and there's this movement to boycott the next E3 actually coming.
Why?
Because the E3 is basically it's ESA's biggest moneymaker, and ESA is trying to push these bills. The Entertainment Software Agency or something. So they're the ones putting all this fucking money into making sure these bills pass. And, the gaming community, Screw Attack, other websites, they're basically saying we're not going to cover E3 anymore until these bills go away, or until you remove your support from these fucking pieces of legislation.
It's true.
Destructoid, they haven't said if they're going to boycott it or not, even though Jim Sterling has been considering boycotting it personally at the personal level. So basically, even if Destructoid doesn't boycott E3, Jim Sterling is probably going to
boycott it himself. Yeah. But it needs to be done. I mean, it's ridiculous how far they're willing to go or even trying to go. I think the greatest video I seen was that one I sent to you today, where they turned around and didn't even know what the bill does. They were like, "Let's get some nerds in." Oh wait, what?
I sent you that one. That's
That's it. What? Get nerds in?
Yeah.
To read the bill? Oh God! And you guys are even allowing this to pass?
If our listeners want to have a glimpse of what the internet is going to be like if Sopa and PIPA actually pass, please go watch, not this week's, but the week before's Jimquisition on theescapist.com, and where Jim Sterling makes kind of like would-be Jimquisition in a world where Sopa was passed.
All right. That should be interesting. I might watch that myself.
So you're going to see how shit it would be.
If that did, yeah. In general, there's a lot of reasons it's shit, but I was happy to see now that the opposition has gone much further ahead of the people that were agreeing it overnight. Like, jumped literally by 30 or 40 different voters. So, you know, the Congress guys in support of the opposition to make sure it doesn't go through. So it's up there at the moment. It just has to hold now.
There was a lot of support after the
out.
18th, after the blackout.
Yeah, after the 18th, a major amount of support. I mean, it literally jumped from something like 70 supporting it against 30-something to now 100-something against it and only 40 supporting it. So it's really making a difference that people are putting in that amount of effort and, you know, showing that this is not something that we should allow to pass whatsoever. And I know it's pretty much very focused on America at the moment, but, you know, guys, if you are from America and listening to this, you have your support over here as well. Definitely want to make sure
because we're going to be the next step. If they pass this in the USA, then they will turn their eyes to Europe.
They'll turn their eyes in Europe and, you know, things like that. And so it has to stop before it starts. That's the way it is.
Yeah, they're on the front line right now in the United States, and the ESA, really, they can go fuck themselves. The nerve they have after, you know, a few months back when or a few years, I don't remember when exactly it was, when video games were in the United States were in danger of losing some freedom of speech rights. You know, they asked gamers for support to keep freedom of speech alive in video games, and the gamers rallied behind the ESA, gave them their support, and now they're basically spitting on all those people. And you know, signing with the big corporations, and you know, making sure that, you know, the big corporations, they have their freedom of speech, but when it's the little guy, they don't give a fuck. Then they're trying to pass the business.
It's ridiculous.
They're hypocrites.
Big time hypocrites when it comes to things like that. Yeah.
So it's really disgusting to see this that they're behind. They're trying to push this thing to happen, SOPA and PIPA. So I hope it doesn't pass, and you know, it's probably not going to pass because otherwise people would go.
There'd be riots.
That would be
crazy.
You know, Anonymous has you know, took down USA government websites and stuff like that.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they did.
Fair play to them.
Yeah, and so that's what you're messing with. You know, they can take out government structures. They could probably take out, you know, XBLA, Sony, PSN. They could probably take down everything at once if they wanted. They're just that you don't mess with hackers, hacktivists.
No, I have to admit, Anonymous, they're not that bad. They're pushed across obviously by the government as being the evil guys, but you know, out of everything I've seen these guys do, they're pretty much only there to inform people of what's going on behind the scenes.
I was kind of pissed.
I have nothing but a bit of respect for that.
I was kind of pissed at them when they took the PSN down.
Well, yeah, all right. It was a bit strong because it was affecting the gamers.
I think they said it wasn't them, but
I don't think they did it. I don't know.
There was this file found on the PSN that had Anon in it, and that's all they had to go on.
But that could have been set up by even some rogue guy. You don't know, but in general, that's just how it is. I think that's all we have time for this evening.
So see you next week, possibly.
Yeah, with our schedule is a little bit up and down at the moment while we sort out some additional things with funding and try to secure more areas to upload these to. In the meantime, guys, be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes. Check us out. Send us an email at gameslushy@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And if there is anything you want to, or you could always leave us a comment on the website. You can check out the website at www.gameslushy.com.
Exactly.
Thank you for listening, guys.
Thank you so much.
See you next time.
And good games.
Good games.